because I've been trying to get some criminal charges against the stalker ring that I've been following in these videos. And I got here a nice letter from the Attorney General of Massachusetts. And here's what they say. Dear Ms. Matteau, we are in receipt of your recent complaint. Unfortunately, this is a very prevalent crime, which often involves targets outside of our jurisdiction, non-traceable and or false email accounts, and identifications used by suspects. I like that because they're admitting that indeed this is a crime that I presented to them. They are also pointing out that it's one of those things that can be difficult and expensive and probably often fruitless to investigate. Rick Ross is a very experienced criminal in the stalking, intervention, interference, violation of your civil liberties world. But that being said, I do believe this was really a nice Christmas present. They mailed it just before Christmas and I received it yesterday. And I do believe that we are making progress. And I want to encourage everyone else out there, whether it's Rick Ross or some other rinky-dink vigilante, don't give up. Talking to the police about internet harassment that you feel is spilling over into your real life can be very frustrating. Criminals count on. That's why they stalk more than one person. It's like an army invading a country through sheer force of numbers. And this is why we have to be persistent. We have to be very patient with the police and just work our way through channel after channel until finally something clicks. In this particular case, what clicked was the obituary that one of Rick Ross's associates sent me as a warning early this summer. An obituary of a young murder victim, a young woman, college student who was murdered. And that person who sent me that obituary did that early this summer as a warning to me of what could happen if I did not cooperate with Rick Ross. That was sent through a Facebook link. This is what's so frustrating for the police. They have to investigate Facebook to find out who sent it. They have to investigate that person to find out if he sent it or if somebody sent it to him and said, please do this, without telling him what the link was. And he didn't check it. They don't know. They have to investigate that. Well, I was able to put together who it was. And I was able to file a complaint and say, please investigate this. Because after that warning, very shortly after that warning, my daughter's fiance turned up dead. I don't know the details. His father told me he did not believe it was suicide. He was very upset. A month after that, my daughter was found dead. And you might say, well, it's an emotional chain of events. You got a weird link from somebody and then this tragedy happened. And indeed, I would like to see it that way. But there were just too many common threads up there in Massachusetts. And the more I dug, the more they stuck. And when I started talking to police, they started recognizing things. And at first I simply spoke to a few troopers who said, look, call this person, call that person. I recognize this name. But we can't investigate unless we get the okay from our superiors. So I went up the ladder. I got finally through to the Attorney General's office. And the Attorney General is taking it seriously. Rick Ross is actually, he'll go in there and he'll say, focus like a laser on Dave McKay. Focus like a laser. Poor Dave McKay is half senile. He's an old man. He's retired. And we are watching these brown shirts attack him. It's so disgusting. And it's criminal. My purpose here is that you don't attack people the way Rick Ross attacks people. And I want to encourage everybody out there, don't give up. Even put up with corresponding with other people, because if someone's bullying you, chances are they're bullying somebody else. You find out who that other person is who's getting bullied. And you contact them, and you work together as much as you can. And if that other person turns out to be an asshole, you just part ways. You don't fight with them. I feel really bad for Dave McKay because I can tell he does not know what's going on. These people have pulled him into conversations with people with the criminals. And I said to him, you don't talk to the criminals. So anyway, I just want to say that we are making progress, and I want to hear from anyone that wants to help. This is I've put in a monetary thing because I've decided if I'm going to be serious and keep fighting, and I am going to devote 2011 to this fight, then, any money that goes into that fund is going to be used for this fight. But the police have said they can't investigate everything. Well, if I could hire a private investigator, I could get a lot more done. And this letter from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts could be followed up with letters from other places. We've got to get one like this from New Jersey. That's our next effort. New Jersey's next. We've got to find out who this CC, Susan Smith Summers in Canada is. We've got to get something out of Canada. We've got to get her dealt with because she's one of the primary helpers of the stalker ring. Yes, we're dealing with it. And we're dealing with it in the United Kingdom, too. The fellow up there in Scotland that thinks he's going to lead his own little stalker ring, he likes to post as Apollo. We're in touch with the Aberdeen people now. And this isn't going to go on. Not in the English-speaking world. Not as long as I can speak English.